Hey, deserving listeners, this is part 3 in me reacting to the story between Ginger Snaps on TikTok and her claims of Jeramey who abused her in the past. So let's continue following this story.
It was very social. So it was a bullpen style sales environment. And so when work got out, we would all go down the street.
So I think we know where this is headed. More jealousy, more anger.
And then go home, right? So one night I go out and I'm staying out a little later than I normally do because I had gotten off work a little later. And he knew where I was. I told him what I was doing. He shows up at this restaurant, storms in, and is like, "What are you still doing here?" I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all things I've heard before, and I'm not surprised. And it's in line with that first reaction that he had. So, yeah. And it sounds like she identified it at the time. You know, because other people, they might think like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. He's right. I shouldn't be out. I'm sorry. And then it progresses more and more down that road, and down the road, the victim has no friends at all, has maybe even quit their job.
I'm here just finishing up with some friends. Like, I'll be home in a little bit. What's up? Like, I thought you were at home. He's like, yeah, but I think you should come home now.
Yeah, yikes. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation at some point where he says, hey, I just want to talk about something that I miss you. I don't see a lot of you. You're spending a lot of time with your friends or your work people, and I just miss you. That'd be okay. Doesn't mean that she has to change her behavior, but it's not abusive. And I think a lot of people in his shoes might feel that way. Not everyone. Or he could have said, hey, the other night I realized that I have jealous feelings. I'm not accusing you of anything, but when you stay out and I know you're with a mixture of people, I don't have any reason to believe that you're having an affair or you have a crush on any of these people or are doing anything inappropriate. I don't have any reason to believe that. But when I'm just sitting at home and I know that you're out having drinks with people, it really gets into my head and I start to have fears and I start to worry. I don't know what to do about it. I'm not asking you to change your behavior necessarily, but can we talk about this? Maybe I need some reassurance, or I don't know, maybe if I met your coworkers, or if I was there occasionally, or if you limited it a little bit, maybe. I'm not saying you don't have to. I don't want to be abusive, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. That'd be okay too. You know, it's taking responsibility. It's not blaming. It's not intimidating. It's not domineering. It provides a lot of options. A lot of people hearing that would say, oh, no, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, hopefully, anyway. If you hear something like that, you would say, oh, yeah, okay, well, thanks for saying it. No, I don't have any crush or I'm not getting together with anybody, nothing inappropriate. It's just people at work, you know, it's just shooting the shit. And, to be honest, there might be one of the guys at work that might, I think, maybe wonder about us, but I'm being very clear with that person, but I don't even know if he likes me. So I just want to be clear about that. But I'll never cheat on you. If anything starts to happen with me, I will tell you long before anything like that happens. I don't foresee that happening because I really love you. I want to be with you. I'm attracted to you. I don't have any urges like that. And I like that you miss me because I want contact with you too. That's nice. And come to think of it, I think maybe I have been spending too much time with these people. I guess I'm kind of worried about fitting in at work, and I've been neglecting what I really want, which is to spend time with you. If I had it my way, I'd only hang out with them after work for a couple hours, maybe once every couple weeks, and I'd rather be home, honestly, with you. So I think I might change. Okay, it's conversation. Both people are differentiated. Both people are taking care of each other. Both people are mature and non-problematic. That's okay too. But to leapfrog all that to control and just show up and intimidate and accuse, that is abusive.
I'm like, okay, is there something wrong? Like, No, I just think like it's getting late. Like you should be home. I'm going, well, I will be home when I'm done here. I promise. Like I'll come home. I promise. And he's visibly angry.
Yeah. And kudos to her for sticking up for herself, having enough differentiation, maturity to be able to draw a limit right there and just say, okay, I'm hearing you want me to leave with you right now. But no, we're not going to play that game. You could have asked me, I suppose, and we could have had a conversation, but I'm not going to reward this. So duly noted. Back to my friends. She's saying that really triggered him, right? And that makes sense given what we're hearing. And it also shows that this isn't some controlled Machiavellian plan of his, that he was probably already an 8 or a 9 for a long time before he even gets down there, right? Because he probably did have barriers. He's probably saying, don't go down there, don't go down there. But I want to go down there, don't go down there. And then he gets so distressed, it just builds and builds and builds. And then boom, he's down there. And then she's like, what's going on here? And that feeling of abandonment, she's in the right, of course, but can feel distancing and rejecting. And then you're through the roof and your adrenaline's pumping and you were already out of control, and now you're really out of control. So I think she's about to tell us that it gets worse.
And storms out of this restaurant. So I finish up what I'm doing and I leave. And I go home.
Now, she's not talking about how this is affecting her. She seems like a cool cucumber, but I would be surprised if she was actually a cool cucumber. Under those circumstances, typically, it can be terrifying, even if you know what you're doing. I mean, for me, I specialize in this kind of stuff. When I have experienced that, even in my office with clients, my heart will be racing. I'll be sweating. I will have adrenaline. My hands will be shaking. It's just human to have that kind of reaction. It's hard to go through because that kind of energy, even the way she described it, he didn't make any threats directly, right? But we have learned to associate that kind of rage with all sorts of danger. We might have even evolved that mechanism to detect that kind of stuff and protect ourselves. So it would be very understandable if in that situation she's, shaking and like, what was that? Why did he, it really, it can be very stressful.
When I get home, he is ignoring me, won't talk to me. And at this point, I'm kind of like, whatever. So I don't press it. And then a few hours go by and I'm finally like, yeah, he's still silent treatment.
And typically what I will hear if the Jeramey Schmeremy person is being honest with themselves and me is they will say they have two main reasons why they're doing this. One reason is because they're so out of control and they know it that they're desperately trying not to do anything because they know that if they do something, if they start to interact, they'll really lose control and then they will do something that would be criminal maybe, or at the very least they'll push their partner away further. Another reason is they want to punish their victim. They want to punish their partner. And they're giving all these messages of anger and hostility and rejection and disapproval. And it's their way of saying that they're upset, that they're worried. And like the way I was role-playing earlier, they don't have that language. They don't feel safe to even recognize those feelings typically. So they pretty much only have two ways of communicating about their feelings. One is through rage and control, and the other way is through withdrawal and silence. They're hoping that the other person will make all the calculations for them, that they'll say, okay, well, I'm getting this vibe, this rejection, this silence. They're clearly upset about something. It must have been because I was at the restaurant and the thing, and so he's in a lot of distress, even though he hasn't said anything about, and I should just stop hanging out with my work friends, and I should come home straight from work every day. Okay, that's what the silent treatment people are hoping for. And silent treatment isn't just for abusive people. I imagine everyone does it at some point in their life. Some people more often than others. And typically what's actually happening are these two elements. is just like, if I do something, it'll be bad, or I just want to avoid these feelings, and so I'm just going to hunker down. And I'm trying to communicate something that I don't feel safe to communicate. Not that the other person is unsafe, but I don't feel safe, and I've never seen it done before. There's a variety of dangers that someone can feel irrationally in that moment that I won't go into, but anyway, so we're hearing silent treatment.
Do you want to talk about this? And it starts off at a conversation like it should, and then it escalates to an argument. And then it escalates to yelling and shouting. And at this point, the argument had moved upstairs into our master bedroom. I realized quickly we're not getting anywhere with this argument, and I just want out. So I go to leave. I go around, and I wasn't leaving the house. I was just going into the spare bedroom.
Okay, so I think we're hearing that she is rationally and wisely saying, this isn't getting anywhere. I'm stopping the conversation. I'm going to go somewhere else. And she has to leave the room. And for abusive people and non-abusive preoccupied people, they will sometimes prevent the person from leaving, because usually it's because they're terrified of rejection and abandonment, and their solution is to pursue and control, which is abusive.
Which is around the corner. I turn the corner, I go around into the spare bedroom, and I go to close the door. He stops it. I can't close the door. I go to back up a little bit, and he flings the door open. The next thing I know, there is a pew-pew pointed at my face.
Pew-pew. Is that a TikTok thing? I understand that on TikTok you'll get flagged or something if you say certain words like gun or fuck or sexual abuse or rape or abortion. I've heard that abortion is something that you just can't even say, and I find that to be so problematic, because all the things that I just said, including fuck, are actual things, depending on what usage of the word fuck you're using. We need to have mature adult conversations. Children need to be prevented from this adult material. Then, yeah, let's take action. But for us adults on the internet, we need to be able to talk about guns. Guns are real. And to have this kind of newspeak, I don't know. I'm just old. I'm not blaming her. I don't even know if this is true. But anyway, so, wow. If this is true, wow. I mean, everything I was hearing thus far, I was heavily concerned about, but this is on a whole other level. I mean, it's consistent with what we're hearing, but it's a massive step up. Now, I've worked with perpetrators that were severe who never did anything like this, who pointed a gun at someone. And this is another reason why we need to think long and hard about the proliferation of guns in homes, because there are lots of angry people, and the most common usage of these guns is not in self-defense. It is on themselves or family members. And you just think about all the homes that have people in it that are rageful, that have traumas, have been modeled behavior, and then you put just ready access to firearms, and then you add substances to the mix. Like, those are factors. Those are all things that we need to be considering when we have regulations around this sort of. I don't know what to do, but we're not doing enough.
And guys, this is really hard to relive, so bear with me here.
Yeah, her heart's probably starting to race, adrenaline and that shakiness. Yeah. I can't imagine anyone going through what she's going through in this situation 10 years ago and not have a visceral reaction when one recalls the moment.
I don't remember exactly what he said in that moment. I was so just in shock. I literally thought my life was about to be over.
Yeah, and let's be clear. What is probably happening for Jeramey is, I'm going to point this gun at you in anger, and you're either going to comply completely with me right now, or I'm going to kill you. your choice. That's the calculation. I am so desperate and I feel so okay with being domineering and being controlling and erasing your agency and alienating you and just objectifying, making you into this irrelevant, small little thing in my pocket. You know, I want to possess you. I want to control you. I want you to feel like you have no choice, or I'll kill you. That's the only reason why you'd be doing that, right? You're hoping probably, don't make me kill you. I'm trying to control you, and you should go along with it, but it's very clear, right? It's not just an expression of emotion. That's the calculation, or at the very least, when you're doing this, you're okay with that being implied, right? Wow. And I'm not surprised when I think about it, because there are a percentage of people that do things like this. And when we're watching a reality TV show, you know, there's a pretty good chance that some of the people that we have liked or you have liked watching reality TV, Love is Blind included, that if we really knew what was going on, then we'd be shocked. We'd change our mind about that person, right? It's unfortunately prevalent. And as I was saying in an earlier video, there's no way you can just look at someone and say, well, they would never do something like that. Perfectly nice. Now, with Jeramey, his whole behavior this season, there wasn't anything, I don't think very many people watching the show, even early on, thought, ooh, Jeramey, I really like that guy. He seems like a relatable guy. Maybe some people did, but I don't think he's not like a Lauren or a Cam or an Amy or Johnny, that kind of thing. But we don't know about any of these folks. So why am I saying this? I'm saying it because I want to raise awareness that this is happening all the time. And most victims will succumb. Most people in this situation would give in, especially because we don't have systems or education or resources for people in this situation. So it's shocking, but it's a normal part of our current society, which is sad. And we're improving things. We're working on things, activists, people in my field as well. We're getting better, but we're not there yet.
I didn't think he would be capable of it. Guys, never in a million years would I think that this person would have done this to me.
Yeah, and we can use this as a jumping off point. If you are currently in a relationship like this, or you are in the future, or you're thinking you might be in one that's developing like this, listen to what she's saying. She's saying, I did not think he was capable of going that far. I'm here to tell you, if someone exhibits domineering, abusive, controlling behavior, they're capable of anything. All right, well, apparently I have a lot to say about this. I thought I was going to watch a number of TikTok videos, but I think I might make a number of videos just watching her. I also plan on, after I watch her, watching other videos. Maybe Jeramey made a response. I'm guessing he didn't. But tune in next time when I continue hearing her account and using it as a jumping off point to talk about intimate partner violence and control. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.